Hello, abundant people of the world, and welcome back. If you're looking for ways to increase your food security, ensure that you have high quality, delicious, nutritious food on demand at any time, not dependent of any other system or availability in the market, you've come to the right place. On this channel, we're going to share with you all the different tips and tricks that we've learned throughout our many years of gardening so that you can have the greatest success with the least amount of effort. All right, my friends, today I have a very special episode for you. I'm going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite plants to grow in the garden for many reasons. It's highly nutritious, delicious, easy to prepare. You can eat this plant raw, add them into soups, sautés, make a tea out of it. It's really endless what you can do with it. And the best thing about it, it can be grown anywhere throughout the world because not only is it a heat-tolerant plant that does well throughout the summer months, but in the winter you can bring it in as a house plant or grow it year-round as a house plant. So even if you live in a condo or an apartment and you don't have land to grow some of these nutritious food crops, well, I've got the perfect solution for you. All right, so the plant I'm going to be sharing with you today is, no, not the loquat. Just wanted to share with you these beautiful fruit sets developing on this tree. And just loading down with fruits. But no, we're going to be talking about longevity spinach, also known as 𝓕𝓮𝓪𝓽𝓲𝓸𝓷. Now, there are numerous health benefits associated with this plant. So many, I'd dedicate 20-30 minutes at least doing research to see the value behind this crop. But mainly in today's video, I'm just going to be sharing with you how easy it is to grow and how anyone can be growing this year-round. Now, there's a lot of information to be found on this plant. It's really made the rounds on YouTube and throughout the internet for good reasons. And as I had mentioned earlier, it grows very well throughout the heat of the summer. It's a green, leafy, perennial vegetable. And although the plant is frost sensitive and will die back in most areas as soon as you get into the latter part of fall, you can easily take cuttings from the plant, bring them inside, simply put those cuttings in some tap water and watch it take off and grow roots and new leaves. It's really amazing. So here's a couple cuttings of the longevity spinach that I took from my plants last year, late fall. And all I did was place those unrooted cuttings into some tap water and check it out. Here we are about 5 months later now, and the plants are still surviving. At one point, the water completely dried out. I forgot to water these, and it began to droop, but it sprung right back as soon as I added water into the cup. So as you can see, a very easy plant to grow, even in just some simple water. Now at this point, you could take your plants, once the weather's heated up above, let's say 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and plug this right into your garden and watch it thrive all summer long, and repeat the process. Come fall, take some cuttings, put it in a little water, bring it inside. Just needs a little indirect light, somewhere in the kitchen's fine. And by doing that, you're gonna have yourself an endless supply of this nutritious vegetable. Now, I've already got a bunch of cuttings started in the garden, so what I'm going to be doing with this is actually potting it up with some potting mix and growing it as a house plant throughout both seasons. Part of the reason I'm doing that is because actually this plant has an ornamental value as well. If you hadn't told somebody that it was edible, they may just decide to grow it as an indoor house plant just because of the beauty. The foliage has got a almost fluorescent, healthy green to it, really beautiful. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, so here we are at my little makeshift plant propagation station in the shade on this beautiful day. And I've got a little flower pot here. I think this is pretty cool. I picked this up at a discount store, little teapot flower pot. It's got a drainage hole there, important. But any size pot's going to do. I do recommend choosing an appropriate size for whatever size plant you're starting with. If you're starting with just a cutting or two, a smaller pot to begin with, and then you can up pot either later in the season or next year once the plant begins to spread out. And here I've got some good quality potting mix. So we'll add that in like so. So now I'm going to go ahead and moisten the soil. Get it all hydrated. Now, optionally, if you want to water less, not worry about the plant or the soil medium ever drying out, you can add in a bit of this soil moist. This is just a granular. It's like a jello. These are kind of dirty because I've been using a spoon with soil, but you can mix that in. Now, these little granules, they hold 200 times their weight in water. This is non-toxic, environmentally friendly. It's safe to use on food crops, and when applied correctly to the soil, can reduce watering by 50%. So we'll mix that in there really good. And I'm just going to create a little opening here in the middle for the plant to sit in. And now, option number 2, add in a bit of mycorrhizal inoculant. This powder is a fungus which is going to help reduce transplant shock. It's also going to contribute to the overall health and resilience of your plant. You see, the mycorrhizal inoculant has a symbiotic relationship with longevity spinach and the roots of the plant. And what it's going to do is actually attach to these roots like little extenders. It's going to fill that entire soil medium. And later, when it comes time to uppot the plant, or if you're transferring out into your garden, you're going to see an abundance of these white little threads called hyphae strands. When massed together, it's called mycelium, and it's one of the key ingredients to your garden, to your soil's health. It's going to actually help to create a humus soil as it breaks down those organic materials in your potting soil as well. But if you include this stuff into your garden, it's going to begin to run, attach to the roots, create a network between all your plants, and allow those plants to reach out much further to obtain nutrients and water. It's just a key to my overall success in my garden. I suggest that you look into it. But like I said, the longevity spinach can grow in just tap water. It's going to grow exceptionally well in a quality potting mix all on its own. Add in a little bit more soil on the top there. And we'll water it in again. Clean everything up with my electric sprayer here. And again, another last step, optional but highly recommended, is to add some mulch, preferably something that's going to help to keep fungus gnats away. And for that, I'm going to be using this pumice, which is a volcanic rock. Very porous, full of nutrients, full of minerals, good for your plants. And best of all, it's going to stop fungus gnats from laying their eggs on your moist soil surface, which hatch into larvae and begin to eat the roots of your plants. It can cause you lots of problems. Matilda just came running up behind me. She heard that pumice shaking in the plastic cup. She thought that maybe she was getting a treat. So there we have our little longevity spinach houseplant. Let's go bring it inside. Now, while this plant continues to bush out, grow nice and full, you can always pluck off a few leaves here and there, eat them fresh off the plant, throw them into a smoothie, what have you. Or you can just allow the plant to get nice and full, and then come late winter, if you want to start preparing for your spring garden, you can take some cuttings off of this plant, root it in some water, and come spring, you can transplant those right out into the garden. I hope, if nothing else, that this video helps you to realize that when it comes to growing food, just becoming more healthy, if there's a will, there's a way. And so with that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.